Somebody asked this in LinkedIn Live, and it's a great question. It's probably on everybody's mind, is virtual versus in person. We live in both of these worlds. All of us do. We know that. How does that? There are a lot of people that will tell me, Dan, I can't do this type of workshop virtual, and I find that you can do some things much better virtual. Personally, what do you guys find? What are some of the considerations about designing for virtual that, perhaps you wouldn't think about as kind of like of a hobbyist as a facilitator? What do you consider, Janet?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. Certainly super relevant in today's world.
Yeah.
And the last few years, I think we have learned we can do a lot more virtually than we thought we could. So that gave us that permission to experiment and try new things. I think that the skills are steady, they're stable. You still want to do divergent thinking before convergent thinking, defer your judgment, have a process to navigate through the complexity. So we don't have people going all over the place at the same time. We're not thinking the exact same thoughts, but we're thinking in the same space at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Really, though, we've added a few elements that help you. So you have tools that are out there to use virtually. If I'm doing a team, if I'm working with a team virtually, I don't want to just have a Zoom call. We might have a board where we're actually able to collaborate, such as Miro or Mural. There's a lot of different virtual tools out there to use, and in terms of converging, there's Pull Everywhere. There's a lot of different things to employ there. So do that, and always better to have those things than not have them, and just have this conversation that swirls around. So that's my take.
Yeah, that's a great point. So, Cal, I'm going to ask you the same or similar-ish thing about the virtual experience. I do remember, it's got to be at least a few years, you said to me, hey, you got to try out Miro. And I said, I don't know. Like, I've used some other virtual stuff. And then I fell in love with it. Because you can do so much with it. You can do things differently. The recording, the capturing is much richer than when you're in person. However, you have the consideration that people are not fully present. They may be doing something else. How do you get people engaged? What do you do in the virtual world? Because some people definitely are struggling with this.
Yeah, and I use Miro. I love it, but I don't think it should be the center of attention. Just like in a live workshop, it's not the workshop was okay, but I love the flip chart. Miro's just the flip chart. So sometimes I will have a little bit of a game within Miro, where, okay, everyone, let's grab a Post-it note and put your favorite snack or something, where they have to actively do something, put their name and what they'd have for a snack at the break that's coming up, just to make sure that everyone is present and accounted for and engaged. Because, when you start seeing all the little names floating around, you can't tell if one person has checked out and really isn't participating. So I might do something like that. But again, the important thing is they're using the tool for the purpose at hand, not just because it's a cool tool. When it comes down to the overarching question of live versus virtual, I would say, though, either or. It's tough when some are live and some are virtual, and that's where it gets difficult. But I think we can do just about everything with the virtual tools, the Zoom and Teams breakouts plus Miro. That's a pretty good combination.